Hi, this is Ford Maverick Mods, and today I wanted to talk about the Ford Maverick Bed Extender. It's a pretty interesting accessory. Bed extenders have been around for quite some time. It's a little pricey though, so maybe you're on the edge of whether or not you want to buy this or not. So hopefully after this video, you'll have a better understanding of why you might be interested in one. So let's check out the Ford Maverick accessory website, and as you can see here, it's showing this is for sale currently at $369, which is not cheap. But let's take a look at their bullets and see what they say. So one of the first benefits they talk about is giving you an additional 2 feet of enclosed cargo area, and that's one of the big reasons people would be buying one of these. The second thing they talk about is that the tailgate keeps items from sliding around in the truck bed, and what they mean by that is when it's in the closed position, that it can separate items between the bed extender and the tailgate or the bed extender in the cab, and we'll get into some of these things more in the video. So this is it in the open position where you would be loading stuff in. When you were done and you had everything out, you could just rotate it back into the bed of the truck, and then you can close the tailgate, and that's what it would be in the closed position. Now, this is pretty handy. You know, it's something that gives you that additional ability to extend, and then when you don't use it, you just close it back up and it sits inside the truck bed. And as we talked about, it works as a divider in this position. Now, when you buy the bed extender, it comes with 2 mounting brackets that go on either side, and as you can see, mine look pretty beat up because I do quite a bit with my truck, but these just bolt in, and then the bed extender itself has a little part that sticks out with a little knob or nub on it there, and that slides into the bracket on either side. And once it's in there, it will only come out at about a 45-degree angle, so when it's in either the down position on the tailgate or flipped up inside, it won't come out. You have 2 straps on the back of the bed extender, and these straps have a little clip on the end of them, and this will clip into the locking mechanism on your tailgate. This is the mechanism that normally keeps your tailgate shut when it's in the closed position, and you just shove down and these clip in, and it engages and it basically locks that mechanism shut and prevents the bed extender from flipping up. And you do this on both sides, have a little strap there, and you will go to the other side and then you will clip that in. And as you can see, it holds it in really well. The straps are clipped into the bed extender as well. There's little clips that are built on the back for storage, so when it's not clipped into the tailgate, you have a place to put those. And here is again me pushing down. You have to give it a good shove to engage it and lock it in. So that's how the bed extender is held in place and kind of keeps it as one piece with the tailgate in the down position. Now when you're ready to open the truck, these are all locked in, of course, right? So what you do is you go underneath and you go to your handle on the back of the tailgate, and when you pull that, it actually unlocks, and you see they just fly out of there. It's actually pretty cool. Hands-free release there, and then once they're released, you can flip it back into the closed position, and you can tuck those straps back into the little clips that are on the bed extender, and now you're ready to roll again. So pretty neat little system. Now, many of you owners will have tonneau covers, and one of the questions I've seen is, will this work with a tonneau cover? And the answer is yes. I've used it both with a rough country trifold tonneau cover as well as this soft roll-up tonneau cover, and it's no problem. So when it's in the closed position, you can close it. It keeps your bed fairly dry depending on which tonneau cover you bought. But yeah, it absolutely works in the position when it's inside the truck, and it also works when it's extended. So for instance, let's say you did have a bigger load you wanted to put in here, you still wanted to keep as much of it as dry as possible. Yes, you can put it into this position, and then you can go back down, grab your tonneau cover, and in this case, roll it down, or you could fold down your tri cover or whatever. And yeah, you'd have most of your bed dry. So if you're on the freeway and it's rainy, maybe it keeps your load a little drier. So definitely it does work with the tonneau cover. Now, removal of the bed extender is super easy. You just tip it up to like a 45-degree angle and you pull. And I'm actually doing this one-handed while I'm holding the camera. So you can see it's really easy to take out. It is very lightweight. You can pick this up and carry it, men, women, older people, no problem. You guys won't have any problem. Getting in is a little bit tougher, one-handed as you can see, but you just have to get the pin into the entrance there on the bracket, and then once it's in there, it's in, it rotates, no problem. You can only pull it out at that 45-degree angle though. That's the only time you can actually remove it. So let's talk about the actual usefulness of this thing. Well, here I've got an example, two oversized bins that may be used for camping or something, and they are longer than the truck bed. You would not be able to put these in there in this configuration, maybe 4 of them together, with the truck tailgate closed. And with the tailgate open, sure, you could, but then they might fly out. So the bed extender definitely adds additional space. However, with the curved design, I will say it does not take use of all the space that's there that it could. I've seen some square design ones that actually come out all the way to the corner, and they do a little better job of utilizing the extra space that a bed extender can create. So even though this is a good design, I'm not sure it's necessarily the best design for bed extenders that exist for the Ford Maverick. So this leads me to the question, do you actually need a bed extender? Because without the bed extender, your bed actually can do something pretty cool in the Maverick, and that is it can go into this tilt position. I don't know how many of you have tried this, but if you actually had something in there that was longer than the bed and you wanted to utilize this, you can tilt it up and it actually kind of holds stuff from sliding out. So if you had a bin, you could pull it out to the very edge, maybe put it on a kind of corner angle like that. And then you're like, well, what if the stuff's going to fall out? Well, I would probably just use a tie down strap. I just would tie down on the side and I would run a strap around the back, basically creating my own bed extender. Honestly, guys, this works pretty damn well. I've done it over the years with other trucks, and with the tilted tailgate in this one, I don't know if I really need a bed extender. Now, one of the big problems with the bed extender is that when it's closed in the closed position and you want to close your tailgate, it severely limits how you can put your cargo in the back of the truck. I immediately ran into this after about 2 weeks of ownership at IKEA. It was pouring down rain. I bought some stuff, was planning to stick it in the back of the truck, realized that the only way to have it in there was with the bed extender open. So even with my tonneau cover on, I had to have the back open and then rain would get in. Luckily, there wasn't anybody in the back seat of my truck for this trip, so I was able to remove the bed extender and slide it in there. But you can see how this could be a problem. And also, when I talk about the use of a bed extender, it's great for if you have those in-between items that aren't going to roll underneath it or aren't so big that they would just stay in place by themselves and you don't really need it. And most of the time I've found this is where my bed extender sits. It sits in my garage. I just don't use it. It really isn't that useful, because if I have something big, like a big piece of furniture, I'm either going to have my tailgate down or maybe I'll put it in that tilted position. If I have something small that I don't want rolling out, I'll want to close my tailgate. And if it's something that's in between, I usually can just use a tie down strap around the back, and it's way more handy than having the bed extender, because when that bed extender is closed and I have my tailgate closed, it is very difficult to put cargo in, really. Like, you have to organize stuff in the back. I can't carry a bunch of stuff in there. I will say, for surfboards and stand-up paddle boards, if you're looking to extend it that way and have them in an angle, I do a lot of surfing, and that's something I found it handy with. Maybe if you have a kayak, but even in the tilted position, you can still do some of that stuff, and you just run a strap around the back of your surfboard. So this is one of the few purchases I kind of regret. I really don't feel like I get much use out of this. If it's in this position, I really don't use it. I would rather just tilt the tailgate up slightly and use a tie-down strap. When it's in the inside position, it totally messes up my cargo area. I've had this happen a couple of times. So, you know, for some people, I'm sure it could be pretty useful if they have a specific need, or maybe they're doing the surfboards. But most of the time for me, it just sits in the garage. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys to kind of make your decision on this one. Thanks for watching Maverick Truck Mods.